Going on, folks? Second and down. We got a good show for you guys. We're going to be talking about the Broncos and the Texans, Marshall Lynch new deal, or possible deal in Oakland, and of course, Richard Sherman and the Patriots. Without further ado, we got Tim, Fog, May, and Josh. What it do? And whatever that thing on top of Tim's head. Let's go.
Are you jealous, Sean, because I got more hair on my head than you got on yours? All right.
You pull that off your beard?
Beard still intact. Beard still intact.
Afro Thunder. I like it. Let's do this.
All right, listen. Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to dedicate. But let's just start off. Tony Romo was retired. He's done. We already discussed that in the first down. Now, let's get down to business. The two teams who was rumored that wanted Tony Romo, the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. Denver already has the Seaman and Patrick Lynch.
Dear.
Excuse me, Simeon. Pardon me.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Simeon.
Yeah,
the Houston Texans let go of Brock Osweiler and only have Tom Savage and Brandon Whedon. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about injuries. Tom Savage is no better than anybody. He gets hurt a lot. Every time he took a snap, maybe another second game, injured. Brandon Whedon, you can't trust. He's a journeyman. Now, here's the thing. So the Houston Texans right now cannot have Tony Romo. He's retired. But here's the thing. There's two quarterbacks left on the open market with experience. Jay Cutler, who they don't want, but Colin Kaepernick is there. Now I'm gonna dedicate my thoughts to Maxwell Ogden and Miss Sarita. I like to give credit when credit is due. I'm one that says, okay, you know what? Colin Kaepernick cannot play the pocket. He's not that good with reading defense. But here's the thing. When I look at Houston and I see a top 5 defense and a top offense, I recall Colin Kaepernick with the same thing with the 49ers, and he was able to take that team to the championship. Now, granted, he may not be somebody who can stay in that pocket and read the defense, but here's the thing. He's a better quarterback now than he was then. And you know what? I like what Maxwell said the other day. If Bill O'Brien is a great offensive coordinator who has experience winning championships with the Patriots, he can do something with Colin Kaepernick to help him out. And you, Mr. Bob McNair, and that jackass GM of yours, and you Texans fans, you guys are idiots. You guys are idiots if you think going into the season with Tom Savage and hopefully maybe a player you're going to draft thinking he may have a Dak Prescott-like year is going to help you guys out. Sign Colin Kaepernick, draft the quarterback, there you go. Solid.
Yeah, it's really easy to say that because you know, Tim, you know me, you know I like Colin, you know I want him to get a chance. I've voiced it before. I said sign him to the practice squad or whatever. We look Carolina, give him off season, whatever. It's not so easy though with the Texans, and they're in win now mode. For one, they have the team ready. They're just missing that vital piece. But at the same time, Bill O'Brien and Colin Kaepernick, I don't think that's going to be like a match made in heaven. You remember one of the in my opinion, best tirades that Tom Brady ever had on the sideline was with who? Bill O'Brien. And I'm pretty sure Bill O'Brien wasn't over there congratulating Tom for grasping the play so beautifully. So do you think someone like Colin Kaepernick, who had issues reading options or grasping a playbook, is going to go to Houston and please Bill O'Brien right away, who tends to have a little bit of a complicated playbook on the offensive side? I don't think that's going to work at all. And then you talk about Jay Cutler. My God, Bill O'Brien already has some like military Full Metal Jacket personality to him. Could you imagine a Jay Cutler coming in with a marble sticking out of his mouth and just saying, yeah, I'm ready to help you get to the championship. Whatever you want, boss. I'm here. I'm dedicated. You know, I got this. And then he just goes out in one of the most important games for the Texans and does a Jay Cutler thing. Has a 3-interception game, looks like he doesn't care, sits on the bench just sulking or staring into space, thinking about having his Miller Lite when he gets home. How do you think that's going to go over with Bill O'Brien? He's going to blow a gasket. Right now, the Texans are in a very, very hard, tight spot. They're probably in their front office right now throwing their vanilla folders everywhere and punching people in the face because they don't know what to do right now. But those two options, Colin Kaepernick and Jay Cutler, I don't know if that's the answer. And honestly, you out of just urgency, they may have to go for Jay Cutler. I don't know what other options they really have because of the roster. Like I said, it's win now mode. That defense is ready to go. They got a decent offense that can just be average enough to carry them through the playoffs. It's just that QB spot. And man, those two are not going to work out with Bill O'Brien. So I do not know what they're going to do.
They won't work out at all. And I think the relationship between the coach and the quarterback is crucial. And at this particular junction, it's got to be Tom Savage. If you're gonna go Kaepernick, which I think would be the best option at this point, anything's better than Cutler. Again, he's got completion percentage problems. He's got issues. He's got issues reading defenses. And we're talking about putting him into a situation where, like, we're sitting here now. This is win now. They got to win now. This is their opportunity. Their window is about to close shut, and they've got nothing to show for it at the quarterback position, and that's the position that they need the most. Maybe you sign Kaepernick and hope he gets a grasp of the offense, but you roll with Savage as your starter. But at the end of the day, realistically, what do they got? I mean, there's nothing out there to grab. There's really nothing out there to grab.
And again, to back up Fogg's point, why not give Savage a point or a chance? Because we saw Mark Sanchez, he got through with his defense. Why not give him a shot?
I mean, here's my thing, and it's like I understand. I'm one that always he doesn't fit the Texans offense. Okay, he doesn't fit the offense. To me, the best spot for Colin Kaepernick is gonna be backing up Russell Wilson in Seattle, just because the way they use Russ, he has the athleticism to do it, and I think Jacksonville, all because Chip Kelly's over there. But here's the thing: when Chip Kelly spoke about Colin Kaepernick coming in, preparing for the games, he spoke very highly of him. Now, he didn't have to say that. He could have kept it nice and short. But the things he was saying, it's sort of like, okay, you know what? What's it going to hurt? Now, my thing is, if Colin Kaepernick is demanding a type of, if he's demanding the type of money he wants, okay, that's not going to happen. But if you give him some type of incentive deal, and let him compete for the starting job just to see who's better, him and Savage. Here's another thing. You're not going to know if a quarterback is that good if you don't have competition. Now, you got Tom Savage there and Brandon Whedon and the draft and the kid you're going to draft. How are you going to know Savage is ready to play? He got nobody who can really compete with him. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you put in Colin Kaepernick there, you'll know pretty much, damn, is that bad that Savage ain't that good that Colin Kaepernick can come in here and play for this team? You got to give him competition. He got nobody to compete with in training camp. And let's be honest, for everybody who loves to brag on Tony Romo injury, look at Tom Savage. He don't last long either. Don't last long. He don't really do much for you. So the Texans messed up.
As far as the Broncos go, too, I was just going to say that I think Elway is very knowledgeable of his own team. He recognizes the talent that he currently has, and he knows that he really doesn't have a great opportunity to take it, to the championship again with what, even if he got a quarterback. That's why they came out and say they had no interest in Tony Romo. They never did from the get-go. Elway's a smart man. He's gonna, play with his draft picks, and he's gonna play the game of chess in the NFL, just like Belichick would. And they're just gonna have a trial year. It's gonna be a bonus if they get to the playoffs, and they play well. But they're going to see what they have with Lynch and Simeon, have a little QB competition in July and see where they get. But why not, just have another, again, with the Broncos, see what you have on your current roster and work from there. If you really have a love crush with somebody in this year's draft, Elway, he's a great, QB prospect evaluator, so I trust him. So if he wanted to do that, I'm sure Broncos fans wouldn't mind. But at the same time, they got to start patching up on the defense and that offensive line and then see what they have first, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. I told you before, Tim, that this is not Elway is not making a move for Tony. They're going to stay strong with what they've gotten. That's exactly what they're going to do. And again, my feelings about Paxton Lynch in that draft, him, Prescott, and Carson Wentz were the three quarterbacks that I liked the most. So we're going to see now if Paxton Lynch can step up and step to the plate and take that next step. They just got to surround that'll help him succeed on the offensive line. And then again, defensively, losing Malik Jackson killed them completely. I mean, you saw their defensive rating from against the run was in the top 10 the year before. This year, they were in like 22nd or 23rd. So
yeah.
Listen.
I just want to make a quick announcement. If anybody wants to make a call and say it off their chest, they could dial right in to 718-313-5155. Again, that is 718-313-5155. All right, Tim.
Tim, you want to transition us to Beast Mode talk?
Yeah. No, listen. Josh, I think you need to start it off because you told all of us weeks ago about what was going to happen. We didn't believe you, but hey, it might happen. You can start it off, Josh.
Look, to me, Marshawn Lynch is a generational player, man. I mean, he just has the it factor that you just can't measure. It's just he has this vial of ooze inside his body that just keeps him going until he's probably well into his 40s. He's going to be a beast. And I have no doubt in my mind that behind that offensive line, which he didn't even have in Seattle, he's probably going to flourish. And I'm trying to look at Latavius' numbers right now. The 788 rushing and the 264 receiving. Just to make it interesting, right here on Fury, April 5th, 2017 at 8:52 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to go ahead and say that Marshawn Lynch, if he signs with Oakland for the 2017 season, he's going to have at least 900 rushing yards and probably about, I would say, give or take. And then total touchdowns, I'll say total touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, he should have about, I'll say 9 or 10 of them too.
Yeah. Listen,
I think it's just going to pump Oakland up for the last year or two. They're in that stadium too. That crowd is going to be insane.
I would say this about Beast Mode. It's a good look. Like I said before, I think it's a good look for NFL rating. It's good for the fan base. It's a good look for the new Vegas fans to look forward to. Mm-hmm. With Beast Mode, jersey sales are gonna go up. The Raiders are his favorite childhood team. I just want to know how they're gonna handle trading that contract from Seattle. Because Seattle still has the rights to him. Are they gonna give him a draft pick? Are they gonna give him money? I don't know how they're gonna do that, but it's gonna be something. You know what? I don't want to jump to the other topic. I don't want to do that yet. I want. Let's all hear what Fogg got to say, and then I
was gonna say like Fogg's Eagles just did with the D tackle. Trade some depth on the Seahawks O line and get Marshawn Lynch over for cheap.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly what they should do. This is a team that last year, Derek Carr doesn't go down.
Yeah, right.
We're possibly talking about this team putting themselves in a run for the championship. So if you're going to get beast mode and you're going to make this move, trade a little bit of depth to help Seattle out in the process. Get Lynch and roll from there. I like Josh's idea that this guy gets over there 900 yards, 9 or 10 touchdowns. That's very realistic, especially with the limited capacity that they use Latavius Murray in.
Yeah, exactly.
And mixed it up with Jalen Richards. this team should be able to do the same thing. I mean, again, Latavius Murray is just a more agile version of Marshawn Lynch. Why wouldn't it work? You still got the passing game there. You got Cooper, Carr, what's his name, Crabtree. Even though he's mediocre as a number one, he's pretty good as a number two.
And also, when I think her opinion is that Beast Mode's perfect for the Raiders.
Yeah,
who's that? Is that my girl Wendy? Hell yeah, Wendy.
Yeah, that's a number one fan. Listen, I give you this. And Wendy's absolutely right. We may have even black and silver Skittles. Of Skittles. The marketing is going to be beautiful. But how about this? Not be the only Seahawk to go there. Because word on the street is that block. And if Beast Mode go to Seattle, we all know Seattle needs help. And they have no cornerback over there. Sherman, they're saying right now, if Malcolm Butler is not retained by the Patriots are interested in Richard Sherman. But how about the Raiders? Imagine Richard Sherman's attitude fits the Raiders. That's not a bad move.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at Richard's contract. I'm not sure how that would factor in. That's the big boy right there, and that's why, Seattle's trying to ship him off is because of that. And the age, obviously, some of our Seahawk fans in 2 Minute Warning themselves stated that it looks like he lost a little pep in his step too this past season, although he still played at a high level. But he's getting to that point where he's looking replaceable, and he's not worth his net right now, what he's getting. So that's why they want to ship him, bring in some young talent. I'm sure Seattle's board is looking like O-line and cornerback for the most part, and they still have to see what Earl Thomas is doing. He's currently rehabbing. Don't know what his passion lies in, if it's still in football, because it takes a lot. Like he even said in an interview, it takes everything in you. You got to dedicate your soul, heart, mind, body, everything to the game of football before you say, I'm going to play this season. There's so much that goes into it. Days, nights, training, weekends, eating, sleeping, everything, taking care of yourself. So, hopefully it works out for them. But at the same time, I think it's going to be hard to ship Sherman just because of the price and because of the depth that's coming in right now for the cornerback class.
Well, not just the price and the depth, but I'll be honest with you. I view Richard Sherman, and he looks like he's on the downward slide. But let's look at it realistically too. He's been protected by the best safety combination in the NFL the last 4 or 5 years. Could Richard Sherman be a maybe just a little bit better version of Nnamdi Asomugha when he left Oakland and Tavon Branch was behind them, and then he goes to Philadelphia and whoop, perhaps to bed.
Oh my God, Fogman, that's horrible, Fogman. You said Nnamdi.
Yeah, that's a reality too, man.
Listen, I'm not saying he's Nnamdi Asomugha. He's better. I said he's an upgrade, but it's still the likelihood of him going to a team that doesn't have solid safety play. And remember, the Raiders lost safety. And their secondary wasn't that good to begin with. Getting him as a corner doesn't mean you're getting an automatic lockdown guy that's going to help you. And I think the cornerback position in the NFL is extremely overrated.
Well,
it's the safety help that you provide.
No, but here's the thing. Just in my opinion, when Nnamdi Asomugha, the thing was is the level of competition. At that time with the Raiders, he only had, I believe, Vincent Jackson in that division, and he had to guard them. But there was no really big time AFC receiver like the way they have him now. That he had to guard. So the level of every Dallas and Eagles, I remember, was going back and forth. The Eagles gave him the most money, and we seen what happened. He never followed the best receiver. He stood on one side of the field.
Yeah, but what was the level of competition he was facing when he went to the NFC East? Des Bryant, that was it.
No. Let's keep it real.
Who was he covering in Washington?
Listen.
Who was he covering the Giants? Odell wasn't there.
Giants. Hakeem Nicks. Let's not forget Hakeem Nicks was a regular. Those 4 years, very solid. Victor Cruz, same thing. Those guys were very good receivers. Also, if you remember with the Cardinals, he faced Life Fitzgerald. That game right there was crazy. He would not guard the best receiver. He said, "No, I'm staying my side of the field." And he was overrated. He only lasted 2 years. I recall the game against the Giants, and this is a funny one because I was at the sports bar, and Nadi Asawa had something in his eye. No scratch, no nothing. He went off in the ambulance. He came back. Eli tossed him in the fourth quarter with 7 straight passes, and that was to Hakeem Nicks for the winning game. This guy here was way overrated. Now, Richard Sherman, the thing with him is that, okay, with Seattle, okay, they have a great front seven. If you have a great front seven, you can guard anybody. Now, when he guard against the best receivers in the league, like Des Bryant, Odell Beckham Jr., he's not the same guy. He talks junk to the number 2, number 3 receiver who's in front of him, but when it's the big time receivers, he's quiet the whole game. Why? Because he has to show that contract. I got to follow him. I can't just guard on one side. You understand? So my thing with Richard Sherman is that if you are a team that you are a championship team, like I think the Raiders are on offense, it's not a bad look to get Richard Sherman and just deal with it. But if you're a team, just building up slowly, I wouldn't touch the contract. He's not the same. I don't think he's a elite receiver. I think he's.
Yeah, but if you don't have the safeties to back him up in that particular case, like you just mentioned about him having to buckle down and chase the number 1 guys at times,
right.
Something that he tried to avoid. Here, facts. He doesn't have that Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, and we saw what struggles he had when Thomas and Chancellor were both out.
Yeah, it's really going to be more man coverage, and he's going to have more of a magnifying glass on him if he were to go, say, like I'd imagine Sherman, if he went anywhere, it's going to be the big cap teams that have the money to spend, like the Browns, Jags, Titans, or 49ers, or anywhere like that. And like Fox said, those teams, I would say maybe the Titans are the best situation because they do have a quarterback there, but the other 3, what do they really have in that backfield, in the outfield? He would be very
front magnified. 7, he would be he would literally be left on an island out there.
Absolutely, and everyone would rag on him because he would have so much of a workload now. He didn't have that, like Fox said, the chemistry in that backfield is so. I think it goes unnoticed a lot of the times. They just call it the Legion of Boom and just think they're an overall great defense and don't really account for how much chemistry those guys really have together and how they know where each other's on the field. It counts for so much in today's game.
But you know what? I think the best team overall it would be the Patriots because why they got a good corner over there. They just signed free agency. It's Bill Belichick's master. He'll know how to use Richard Sherman to his strength. And I'm sorry, if he goes over there and everybody stays healthy, I can see a 16-0.
Well, again, he's also got McCourty and Chung back.
Stephon Gilmore's over.
So. Yeah, I'm going to cut you guys off real quick. We got Hobbs on the call. What's going on, Hobbs? You there? Give me a second. Let me see.
Those Buffalo fans always leaving early.
Hey, Hobbs, still there?
Hey, how you doing?
There he is.
Okay, there he is. Oh.
Hey, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. But it's just unfair if the Pats got Richard Sherman. That's just not fair. They got to have a clause or some type of rule that prevents super team forming like this, man.
Hey, listen, Hobbs, I know you're a Buffalo Bills fan, brother, and I know the agony is just like the Jets. Y'all 2 teams will be in a lot of pain just to see the Patriots have Richard Sherman on one side, Stephon Gilmore on the other side, and they loaded. They're
not there anymore.
Everybody's going to the Patriots, man. They listen. We had a prayer meeting. We had a prayer meeting for AP not going.
I'm going somewhere. I forget what it was, but come on, something like that got to be implemented in the NFL because this is just unfair. Like they getting everybody, and everybody's trying to go to them. It's like, come on, man.
I know it's a big name going to the Patriots. I don't know if I would be really scared of Sherman in New England. I mean, it's a good system he's going to, but overall, I think he's very beatable in his older age now. If you watch tape on him, once a receiver gets past him, he has a very hard time catching up to him, and he takes a lot of risks sometimes, which is going to be, again, magnified, like Fox said, without Chancellor and Thomas backing him up. When he takes those chances and tries to get his jumps, he's going to get burned very much so. And he's playing in a division where they're trying to stack up in receivers too. Even the Dolphins, they got a deadly trio out there, and I know the Buffalo and the Jets need to work on it a little bit though. But other than that, he's going to have his work cut out for him in New England.
We're working on it. We got Andre Holmes from the Raiders, but we lost Robert Woods and Marquise Goodwin. That was kind of, tough, but
right.
I think we'll be all right. I think the draft will complement us with a couple of good pieces. I think a few at receiver, hopefully, but Mike Williams, I think we're going to go with him at, even if we get OJ Howard at, at a tight end, that's one of the New England. Sometimes you got to copy the people that's done it, So I think Buffalo could follow that mold, but I don't know. I think Sean McDermott, I like him. I think he got a good vision for the team, but if they get Sherman, is just unfair. I still think it's unfair.
I think this Hobbs. This is the best thing to do. I think you build until Brady retires. He's gonna give you another 2 years, another year or two. When he retires,
it's not even fun anymore.
No, the division.
Well, wait a minute. It's not fun now. You're getting kicked around all over the place. So.
Exactly. Look, the guys owned us. I'm not gonna lie. The guys are like 23 and 2 against us in the last 15, 16 years. The guy's done it. Whatever. The guy's done it year in, year out. It's obviously not fun anymore watching it because it's going to happen. There's a lot of close games. That fourth division, we're always left with the wild card. It's like, okay, you go into the season thinking you got to fight for the wild card, and that's another 7, 8 team you got to compete against. So it is kind of not fun, to be honest with you. It's one of those things like, oh man, But I think with Tyrod Taylor, not to change the subject, but I think with him, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be competitive. I think we'll take the division sooner rather than later. And I think if Brady starts falling off, this season, hopefully, which Father Time got to come to play sometime. Seriously.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It does for everybody.
It does. Definitely does. Listen, I don't want to go over there myself because, my Dallas Cowboys, we're going to the Super Bowl this year.
Nice.
Hey, listen. Hey, I predicted 16-0. We went 14-2. I was this close. 13-3, excuse me. I was that close. But you know what? I think the Miami Dolphins will have a shot against the Patriots. They're doing a lot of things over there. And they got a roster. Not saying the Bills can either. Not saying the Bills can't because
he's got it. You guys really think Tannehill's the answer? Not just the answer. Do you think he's the quarterback that can actually lead them, to the chip?
Well, he's the second best quarterback in that division.
That's all you need. Hey, not only that, I trust Adam Gase. I think Adam Gase is a good he does good with quarterbacks. They got Matt Moore as a backup. Matt Moore looked very good. Matt Moore never really got a shot.
He did.
He just changed the management. Change of management really. Well, here's the thing. Anytime you got a switch of GMs, they want their guy, and he earned it. Tannehill, they drafted the quarterback when RG3 was out there. Andrew Luck at the same time. Russell Wilson. They just thought, you know what? Let's draft the future. Matt Moore had good years. He had good seasons. Not saying that he wasn't a Pro Bowl, but he showed he could basically lead a team. And when Tannehill went down,
there's a reason he's a backup.
But he wasn't given a fair chance too. Because listen, look at last year. Last year he looked better than Tannehill in that offense. You cannot lie about that.
I've never been a Tannehill fan, honestly. Ever since he came out of college and he came into the league, and he personally stated he didn't know what the NFL divisions were or conferences alignments were. Idiot. You're putting this guy at the helm of your franchise. And ever since 2012, he was supposed to be, one of the better rookies. And then 2013, up until this year, he's always been pegged as, Ryan Tannehill, fantasy breakout. You need to get Tannehill late in like the 6th or 7th as a sleeper. He's only had 2 seasons barely over 4,000 yards. 4,045 yards was his first season breaking it. And then the year after was 4,208. And we all know the season he just had this year, which was abysmal, didn't even break 3,000. And he's never had more than 8 wins. I mean, some of that does come to play with playing against the Patriots twice a year, but at the same time where you got to break the mold and you got to go above the surface of what you've been the past 7 or 6 years. So I've never liked Tannehill. I don't think he's the answer, and I think he's actually just been carried by a better offensive talent around him.
Yeah, he's had Brandon Marshall. He's got Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is one of the best in the NFL. Brandon Marshall, he had him. He had weapons around him. They tried to put weapons, but he was always just mediocre. I've seen him play 2 times a year for the last however many years, and he's really not that good. I've always seen him. He's not that good. His defense has carried him. Obviously this year, the running back, Jay Ajayi, carried that whole team. So it really wasn't Tannehill. Tannehill, I don't think will be the answer. I think he'll
again, it depends on what you're looking at Tannehill. If you're looking at Tannehill under Philbin and what they tried to make him, they try to have him become Peyton Manning, throwing 35 to 45 passes a game, and that just wasn't his game. And when they incorporated Lamar Miller and gave Miller 20 to 25 carries and kept the pass attempts for Tannehill under 32 to 30 pass attempts, he was much more effective. The team was much more effective, and they were much better. So part of the mess that was Miami was the coaching staff, and again, their front office has been a disaster for the last decade. That's why they haven't been able to do anything.
And may I add to that, Fogmeg, is that another thing? It's like we always say, a quarterback best friend is a running back. Take off the pressure. You finally got a good running back. Tannehill can now relax. You don't got to put the ball in his hands so many times. And the thing is, he has Parker. He got Jarvis Landry. You finally got an O-line. Under Philbin, they didn't address O-line like that. They now under this guy, you just a defense. They got Ndamukong Suh. They just signed T.J. McDonald, who's going to miss the first 7 games. But here's the thing. He's depth. And mind you, he's a starter. He's only depth. Because they're going to have Rashad Jones as a starter. They still got Byron Maxwell, who had a pretty good year last year. And the crazy thing, they're going to still draft. So hopefully 4 out of the 7 picks is going to be starters. Miami Dolphins.
Again, if Parker can stay healthy and they re-signed Stills and Lynch. I mean, a lot of their problems last year was injury to the wide receiver and the fact that they let Rashard Matthews go and didn't have anyone to step up in his place. Yeah. Especially after Parker went down.
We got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up for the last time. But I also want to add to that statement you just made, Tim, that a QB best friend is a good running back. Also a good O-line for both the QB and the running back. So it's
of course, O-line.
And for a QB, for an underperforming QB, if you have a great running back and a great O-line, then the QB is serviceable if he's underperforming. But
the left.
Yeah, what was that?
No, so the left tackle is always the first pick. Is always the first business you should go after. Build a team.
That being said, we catch you in the 3rd down, guys. We'll be right back.
All right, and I heard that little
piece.
Leaving early. We won't be leaving early, man. We stay on to
Good luck, Hobbs.